need all of my virtual people to gather round. Welcome to House Talk on a Tuesday. We love to start your week out the right way, and I'm glad that you spend this 1 hour with us each and every day. Today we got a very special guest, because today, in today's world, female DJs they come in big loads. But years ago, they weren't as many as they are now. And this woman right here was very special product of the time. And I'm so glad to have her here in our midst. I need everybody to put their hearts up and their thumbs up for our guest today, Miss Celeste, the DJ. Celeste the DJ. Hope you enjoy yourself. female DJ in the game in Chicago, Miss Celeste DJ. We're going to talk about that later too. Let's go. You are in the mix with the original female DJ. We're going to talk about that in our interview. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you stay tuned for the interview. I promise you the information is going to be amazing. This is Nocturne Chicago Live. This is House Talk on a Tuesday. interview of a lifetime. We're going to get some truth out. We're going to expose some myths. We about to go there. Celeste the DJ, y'all. Let's go. Baby, I was sitting up here like, is that the break? I was ready. I was ready for that to come on back in. You hear me? What's happening, Celeste?
What's up, Ron?
Celeste the DJ, huh? We're going to be Celeste the DJ today. So before we start the interview, all right, we got to go back in time a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I mean, I was around those days.
You were.
And I know for a fact, I'm going to say it, I'm going to make it a record. I know for a fact that you were a lone soldier at one point in the female DJ world in Chicago.
I probably felt like a lone soldier, but in all actuality, Lori Branch started before I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was me and Lori.
It was you and Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, yeah, Lori old school, yeah, she was definitely around first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the female DJ world, because, you know, now it's a lot of them. They're coming out the woodwork, which is a good thing. Let's speak about your beginnings.
Ooh, my beginnings. You know, I was not into disco club music.
Okay.
I was not into that when I was in high school. And I am a little bit older than some.
Yes.
I started or fell into interest with it when I met Steve Hurley.
Okay.
I met Steve Hurley in college. We
Big
went
ups
to
Hurley.
Loop Junior College together.
Okay, all right.
Which is now Harold Washington.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. We went to Loop Junior College together. I had a mad crush on Steve Hurley.
Well, he's a good-looking brother. I mean,
He was a very good-looking brother.
Yeah.
He still is a
he
good-looking
still
brother.
is. Yeah, he's a good-looking
But
brother.
he was like what our parents would have said, the bee's knees back in the day.
Okay.
So, yeah, had a friendship, struck up a friendship with Steve Hurley in college. And Steve talked a lot about hot mixing and, hot mixing. He was just calling it hot mixing. And I had no clue of what it was. And then he explained to me what mixing was,
Gotcha.
This had to have been, I'm going to say 81.
Okay.
And I asked him at that time, why aren't any females doing it? He told me that his sister could.
Okay, right.
But his sister was considerably younger than Steve and I were.
Okay.
Steve and I are we are the same age now that I think about it. We are the same age.
Okay. What is that? What is that age?
I am 57. I will be 50.
That's what's up.
I'll be 58 this
I like
year.
that. Stand on that.
Yeah.
I like that. Go ahead.
I'll be 58 this year.
Blessing.
In November.
Yeah.
Sag love. I asked him why didn't females do it or why weren't there females doing it?
Right.
And he told me because he thought that there was a myth that being able to coordinate was gender specific.
Really?
Yeah. But he knew that was a myth
Gotcha.
because he had taught his sister how to play.
Right.
There were other guys in the neighborhood that were also doing it, but Steve was the one that piqued my interest.
Okay.
And he told me the myth is that because they can't.
Wow.
That was enough for me.
I know that was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do this.
Yeah, instantly I wanted to learn. What do you mean they can't? You know what I'm saying? So Steve was along with a few other friends in the neighborhood that were also doing the same thing. I went to Kenwood. I was born and raised in Hyde Park.
Okay.
So
Snooty Kenwood. Here we go.
So there were the Steve Duplains, the Dave Martins.
Yes.
The Keith Fobbs.
Absolutely.
And Keith Fobbs and I were very close. Our families were very close.
Okay.
And Keith had equipment.
Okay.
And it was through Keith and Steve and Dave and the other Steve and Steve Duplain. I actually started learning how to.
Great.
Through Keith, I also met Andre Hatchett.
Wow.
And once I met Andre Hatchett,
it was done.
It was done. It was a wrap. Yeah. So.
Okay. So now I heard about. We got a second because we ain't got that much time. But I can talk to you forever. Trust me. I heard that there was a moment you played at a certain venue.
Here you go.
And you got a little sick to the stomach. What happened?
I'm a nervous DJ. I've always been a nervous DJ. Okay. And I was asked to play the music box with Ron Hardy. Ron asked me to open for him and play a set prior to it because he had another set.
Okay.
So I would be the only female that has ever played in Ron Hardy's U.S. studio music box, Robert Williams.
Y'all heard that. The only. This is why I look at her as a lone soldier. Keep going.
I am the only female to have played at the music box. And, so I did. It was a Halloween night, which is really a big, big night, in Chicago for parties. I did my thing, and apparently Ron got there early enough to listen to me, but did not let me know that he was in there, that he was there. And when he did finally come up to the booth to tell me, okay, I'm ready to do my thing, let's wrap it up, he was like, man, you played a real nice set. And I was like, well, how would you know? You just got here. He said, child, I was in the back listening to you for the last hour. And the moment he said that, my stomach flipped. And I threw up all over the man.
Really?
Yeah, I threw up all over his feet, all in his DJ booth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
I
thought you went to the bathroom. You was like, excuse me.
I could not. It was instant. As soon as I knew that he was there and had been listening to me. But I still get sick to the stomach before I play. No
you
matter
still get
where
the
I'm
butterflies.
playing.
You still get that?
I still get the butterflies, yeah.
I mean, I just think that's a passion, because you want to deliver a great message. That's all it is. It's the passion that makes the butterflies. Okay, so now let's fast track to today. When was that moment you decided to say, I'm going to do this again? I'm going to get back into this thing.
2006.
Okay.
2006.
What sparked it?
I never lost my love and I never lost my passion. I did leave the scene, period, for a good 10 years.
Yes, you did.
For a number of reasons.
For sure.
For a number of reasons. But when I got my stuff together.
Right.
And it was always my passion. It's always been something that I've loved to do. Music has always been a constant for me.
That's what's up.
So I told my husband, I was like, hey, I'm ready to get back in the game. And I called a few people, and once they found out that I was back and I was okay.
That's all it took.
That's all it took. And I got guidance from a whole lot of people.
Wow.
Gene Hunt,
yes.
Terry Hunter.
Yes.
Terry Hunter stayed in my behind the whole time I was gone.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, he did. Terry Hunter, Gene Hunt, Frankie Knuckles.
Man.
The list goes on and on of the amount of support that I got. Greg Gray,
wow.
Alan King, Wayne Williams, all my chosen few brothers.
Wow.
Everybody was just really, really supportive of me getting back in the game.
For sure.
But when I came back, the game had changed.
Okay, let's talk about that change. What did you see differently?
They were using digital formats by then.
Yes.
CDJs, I think I stopped playing around 94.
Oh, wow.
95, and came back in 2006. Maybe 96. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I got some fog.
I get you.
But CDJs, they were using CDJs.
Yeah, they were.
I had no idea how to use CDJs.
Right.
I was taught how to use CDJs.
Okay.
I was given the opportunity to go to a couple of people, but Greg Gray, my sensei, invited me down. We are 40-year friends. He invited me down and taught me how to play on CDJs. I booked a party. I didn't have any. I didn't have any records. I didn't have any music. I booked a party with them. And he and Alan both provided me with records.
Oh, that's good.
And they gave me CDs, music on CD, and I was able to do the party. And truthfully, I ended up using the CDJs more than I did the wax, because they provided me with a crate of wax.
Absolutely. Okay.
They let me pull what I wanted.
Okay.
So that had changed, and the music had evolved immensely.
Yes.
And I fell in love with newer music, because I had been gone for a while, and I really didn't want to come back to the same thing.
Gotcha.
That was going on 25 years ago. The same music. There had to have been some growth somewhere.
Now, what's funny? There's a whole generation, Celeste, that missed the 90s. Yeah. Like, the 90s had some incredible tunes. But a lot of, I would say in Chicago, we can never speak for the rest of the world, but I know in Chicago there was a gap in the 90s where people just went directly to hip-hop, partying with hip-hop all the way through the 90s. They get to the 2000s, and then here comes a discovery of new tunes.
I think that did happen in the 90s, and because I spent let's say just almost half of the 90s, if not a little bit more, not involved. I saw what happened, but I don't think it happened just in Chicago. Hip hop came into play around the same time that house music, because I can remember being at Sawyer's and playing playing songs like Jam on It and stuff like that.
Right.
So. They kind of came in at the same time. I think hip hop just took off commercially far more than house music ever did. Now
I'm gonna ask you a question about that, because to me, and this is my opinion, I think hip hop, when it came to people of color, was more relatable. Because a lot of people heard the lyrics. You had Wu-Tang, you had Dead Prez. You had all the, so I think people connected lyrically to hip hop.
I think that was part of it, and record companies threw money behind it.
For sure.
90s was the video age. The 80s and the 90s were the video age. So hip-hop videos were coming out triple fold, quadruple fold what any house music videos were coming out,
That's true.
The record companies were throwing their money behind the visual, behind hip-hop.
Yeah.
And that's why it got so commercialized. But personally, I'm rather cool with house music not being as commercialized.
Right.
Not that we did not have our commercial sides, not that it wasn't being played on the radio,
right.
the Hot Mix 5 and, the DJ groups and all the other type of stuff. But I'm an underground baby.
Yeah.
So underground music is what I love,
Absolutely.
And the involvement of the house music, by the time I came back, I got an opportunity in 2006 to discover the 90s, to discover the Masters at Work, to discover Blaze, to discover, the groups that had evolved or came into play that were being played in other regions, but weren't so much being played in Chicago.
Right.
Because I think that we had marginalized ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
And I immediately got an opportunity to play on internet radio, on Cyber Jams.
That's a good thing.
And that connection with Cyber Jams internet radio opened up everything for me.
Got you.
So I wasn't just listening to or corroborating with people that were just from Chicago. I was opened up to the New York scene, the New Jersey scene. I was opened up to what was going on with the Winter Music Conference, or what was going on down in Detroit, or what was going on in other regions.
For sure.
And internet gave us that freeway, that connection, to make those decisions on whether or not we wanted to just be marginalized and stay in Chicago. And I think all of us have to make that choice at one point or another. Or whether or not we want to expand and evolve. If we want our music to expand and evolve, we definitely can't stay stuck.
We can't. We can't. Like my career really shot off 99 into 2000. Before then, I worked with Mike Dunn and Armando and people like that, and they had me around them. Byron Stingley. I was, that's my learning phase, which was in like the 90s. 2000, I took off on my own, but I went more commercial. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to.
It was just where it led you.
Exactly. Just where it led me.
I get that. I was able to connect through Cyber Jams internet radio.
Yeah.
God bless them. That was like the first internet radio platform that offered interactive chat, video. So I'm not really messed up with the whole Facebook Live and how we've had to go back in during COVID.
Gotcha.
How everybody's, because I've been doing it for the last 13 years.
For sure.
But that connection opened me up to meeting other people. The Jersey Cats, the Jihad Muhammads, the Ian Fridays, meeting the New York people, getting an opportunity to go and play somewhere outside of Chicago and fall in love with what was being created. Also, it gave me an opportunity to meet Vic Lavender and partnering with him over the years and helping with the business side of things, with him building Sophisticato and learning a little bit more about production and composition.
Exactly.
That with Vic and Glenn Underground, I was able to do those type of things. So I'm really grateful for the way things were opened up for me.
Lori Branch said when Celeste came back on in 2006, she said, "Woo, I was so happy."
I was happy too, Lori. I was so happy to know that you were still motivated to play.
Absolutely.
I believe Lori is probably more involved now than she was back then.
I mean, she's really doing a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with her. I was honest with her. We brought her here for a house talk, and I never heard her play in my life. until bringing her here. Never.
Lori can get out.
Lori gets down.
Lori can get out.
Now, I'm going to ask you one more question about the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Okay, so now, guys, back in the day in Chicago, there was a all-female DJ crew.
Yeah.
Called the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
I believe it was, just tell me if I'm correct, it was you, Hurley's sister, Chrissy Henderson, and who was the other one?
Okay, so actually there were 5 members of the Fantastic Four.
Got you.
Hurley's sister, Angela. Angela Hurley was an original member and was a member of the Fantastic Four. But again, Angela was younger than us, and the Hurley, Steve's parents were, I mean, we had enough trouble trying to get Steve out at 20 years old, 21 years old. So they definitely wasn't letting Angela out, you know, at 15.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
So there were 5 members, and it was myself. It was Chris Hutcherson is her name now, but it was Chrissy Hot Mix Henderson back in the day.
Yes.
There was Rick Lenore's sister.
Oh, wow.
Rick Lenore's sister, Kenya Lenore.
That's right.
And then there was one more girl. Her name was Berlanda.
Who?
Berlanda.
Who was Berlanda?
Berlando was, I'm quite sure Berlando was from the West Side with Ricky.
Okay.
With Rick Lenore and Kenya Lenore. I'm sure she was a West Side, but her name was Berlando.
Okay.
So that was the Fantastic Four, but it was actually 5 of us.
You all, I mean, I remember seeing y'all name on posters consistently.
Park Avenue was one great promotional company.
They were. Yes,
Stephen
they were.
Doors, Keith Edwards, and Rick Lenore, and there may have been a couple of other members, but Stephen Dorr I grew up with. We grew up in Hyde Park together, like from grammar school. Like, I think first grade, we were in first grade together.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna bring you back, and this is what I want to do. I would like to do this. I would like to do, if possible, a Fantastic Four virtual reunion.
If we can, me and Chrissy would jump on it in a minute. Chrissy has been talking about that forever.
I just feel that we not only do it here, I'm just going to use a code word on the show. I want to do it here, and I want to do it at the Happy Place. Fantastic Four reunion. But see, the thing is, we got to add Lori as a special guest. We just got to, I just want that vibe.
I think that it's a good idea, and to be honest with you, I don't know if Berlando, Kenya, or Angela are even, anywhere near still involved with playing. I mean, it's like riding a bike, but
true.
Why not? I always thought that Lori should have been a member of the Fantastic Four in the first place.
Lori, did you hear that?
The thing about it was Lori was already with a group.
Okay.
She was with Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Yeah, she was with Craig Loftus
and
Vertigo. But I always thought that Lori would be an awesome addition to the Fantastic Four.
Sure.
But that's just not the way things worked out. Keith and them had a very good idea of who they wanted. And that sprung from a battle of the DJs that Wayne Williams threw.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Wayne Williams was involved in a lot.
Wayne Williams was very instrumental and was involved in a whole lot. Wayne Williams, Kirkland Townsend was involved in a lot too.
Right.
Shout out to Kurt.
Kurt, what's up?
But Wayne Williams, I got some stories with Wayne. But yeah, Wayne was very much involved, and he was the only person I knew that he threw the first female battle of the female DJs.
Okay.
And I think he threw several of them. I think there were maybe about 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
But Wayne was always very supportive.
That's what's up. Now, so damn, I got so many questions. Okay, so back in the day, like Wayne, because a lot of people, when the Chosen Few did the outdoor thing, right, by the museum, And a lot of people said, where did they come from? That's what I used to hear, right?
Right.
I know that years ago there were club scenes and then there were high school scenes. Everything was kind of, mixed up. So was the Chosen Few one of those like connected in the school scenes? Because those were big scenes back in the day.
Yeah, I believe so. Because we had crews just like hip hop did.
Right, exactly.
We had DJ crews, we had dance crews.
Yes.
We had fashion crews.
Yes.
We had all types of crews. And we had our Chicago is so segregated that segregation and separation is kind of a part of the makeup of who we are if you've been born and raised in Chicago.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you were born and raised in Hyde Park, that's different than being born and raised in South Shore. Now, we was cool.
Yeah.
We can get out with each other, you know what I'm saying? But there was always a distinct separation in South Side, West Side, East Side, Hyde Park, the different neighborhoods. There were the schools. There was always a separation.
That's right.
The Chosen Few was a crew. They were a DJ crew.
Gotcha.
There were DJs in the Chosen Few that belonged to other crews.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Tony Hatchett was a part of another crew that included Andre and Keith Fobbs. They were called the People's Choice. I don't know if you remember that.
The People's Choice.
The People's Choice. So there were, we had crews. You had the Fantastic Four. You had the Gucci Music Promotions.
Yes.
Shout out to Dave Risqué.
Yes, absolutely.
Dave Risqué took me on very early on. And I was one of his core DJs for the Gucci parties that he used to throw.
I remember that.
At Sawyer's and
the racquetball club.
And the racquetball club, yeah. So
where you destroyed all
Dave
of the...
Risqué was a big part of that.
Let's talk about thank you. Let's talk about Craig Cannon.
Craig Cannon?
Craig Cannon.
Craig Cannon was I'm an underground baby.
Yes.
Okay. So I connected into I was a straight girl on the gay scene.
Okay.
On the gay underground scene. I connected with a lot of people. It's how I connected with Frankie. It's how I connected with Ronnie. Robert Williams came real close to being my brother-in-law at one point. Okay. So Craig Cannon had he was a DJ from the Ritz, which I'm going to say, I've never been to the Ritz before.
Okay.
But he opened up another spot, and it was called the Ritz 2 Underground.
Yeah.
R2 Underground.
Yes.
It was at 326.
Exactly.
Lower 326 Michigan on Lower Wacker Drive, underneath Michigan Avenue or Wacker Drive. Well, that was he pulled myself, Lori Branch, Andre Hatchett, himself, and Craig Loftus, and we were the core DJs at the Ritz 2 Underground prior to the Music Box moving from the 14th and Indiana location to the 326 location.
Exactly.
Right. So Craig Cannon played a very big part of that, curating. He curated so many DJs.
Amazing,
he crossed
man.
so many dividing lines.
Yes.
And there were a lot of dividing lines,
There were.
and things were happening simultaneously for the music period. Some kids were still in high school.
Yeah.
Some of us were legally grown and could hang out in the underground scene. But Craig Cannon was a very, very big part of that fabric. Craig Cannon, myself, and Craig Loftus and Kirk Townsend were the ones that talked Frankie into start doing the Mendel parties.
What?
Yeah. And it was strictly because of fundraising at first.
Okay.
Because Mendel had been threatened to be dismembered a lot of times through the Catholic school system.
Okay.
Because it was an all boys school, and then the Catholic the church broke up everything and they consolidated. Then it became, but funding was always a problem with Mendel.
Okay.
But those parties would make up for the fundings, and Mendel had hot parties.
Absolutely.
But once they got Frankie down there, they had even hotter parties. Wow. Those parties used to be packed, and the kids could come.
Yes.
The kids could come. I played those parties. Fantastic Four did one down there. I remember we did 2 parties down there, packed the house. I was pregnant.
You was pregnant?
I played pregnant until I went into labor.
Now, the funny thing is, right, I didn't go to Mendel a lot because my parents, Celeste, was so religious. I'm talking about so religious. I would have to sneak out my back window.
So you were sneaking out the house, too?
I'm sneaking out the house.
Just like Steve was, and I can name quite a few other ones that had to sneak out the house. The thing about it is that I was already over 18.
Got you.
And now we're talking about 82, 83, 84.
Right.
I was in my 20s.
Man.
So my mother was like, you grown. Just so long as,
But the funny thing is, we were grown, Celeste, and it's like, you can't go out there. You still can't go. As long as you living in here, you know what I mean? As long as you living in here, these rules apply.
My mother was a lot more liberal. She was a lot more liberal. So long as I went to work, and Lord have mercy, I would drag my butt into work straight from the club, looking like who did it and what for, and please don't do it again.
Wow.
And make my way through the day and come home and crash out for, and probably miss work the next day. But,
yes.
But so long as I was holding on to my responsibilities, I didn't have any children. I didn't get pregnant. I didn't have Danny until I was 23.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about, but we're going to have to do a straight up like online forum right here so we can all speak. But last question, from this point going forward, what do you want your legacy to be?
I think my legacy for the most part is already cut.
Okay.
So I wouldn't take away from anything that already is.
Okay.
I would like it to be truthful.
Okay.
And that's with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm an extremely open
Absolutely.
book.
And that's beautiful.
'Cause it's not all pretty.
No.
It's not all a perfect package. I just would like my contribution and my tenacity and my diligence and my longevity.
Yeah.
To be remembered that I was the one that always fought.
That's good.
To be able to have the ability to do something that somebody told me that I shouldn't be able to do and do it well.
That's what's
well.
With a deep voice.
For real.
Man.
And I'm starting to dip my toe back into the production waters.
Please do.
I don't know where I want to go with it.
Please do.
But I have the time as an empty nester now to really get some more learning. And I was taught a lot, but I was never able to put it into effect because I was wearing so many other hats. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I have a job and all those other things. It was a lot, but the kids are gone. The baby's in his senior year in college.
Yeah.
So I have the time, and I'm gaining the motivation to learn some other things.
Well, that's beautiful. And guys, everybody watching, we're talking this way because there are people watching right now that don't know the history of Chicago. They don't know a lot of the backstory of different things. So we're just talking so those who don't know can learn about how people evolved, how people came about in the industry. It's all about you learning and you getting this information. Celeste, you were wonderful today. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were here. To everybody watching, thank you so much. Once again, House Talk is every Monday through Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. On tomorrow, we take you a little bit on the tech side with my man, Sean Strange from Spy Bar. And other than that, Thursday is our Heat Love Fest from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on Nocturne Chicago Live. Thank you again, Celeste. You were a pleasure. For those who are watching, send your hearts up right now. And we will see you back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. on House Talk. Until then, peace out and good night.